Morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the Integration Product Webcast. I'm Jan Chris, and we are live here at AI World in Las Vegas. With me is the whole integration team, and we will try to give you an update today on the latest announcement of Oracle integration. We start with a brief strategy update, and then we go through the announcements of Oracle Integration AI Assistant, Business Automation, Robotic Process Automation, Agentic AI, and I wrap up with the resources and the summary. So, welcome to Las Vegas. We are sitting here live at the Oracle AI conference, and with me is Nathan. Nathan, good morning.
Morning, Jürgen.
So, it's your first Oracle AI event?
It's the first one this year.
What was your first Oracle Open World?
I think my first Oracle Cloud World was probably back in 2016.
So, we renamed it to AI World.
Yeah, now it's our first AI World.
And what is it about integration and AI?
What's up?
What's about integration and AI?
Well, yeah, integration is going to be almost essential for this whole revolution of AI agents. If you can't have your agents connecting to your enterprise apps and data, then your agents aren't going to be all that useful. Okay, so again, Oracle integration, our mission really is to help our customers connect their apps and data, to automate their processes, and now to be able to use those capabilities to be able to innovate with AI. And so if we look at some of the capabilities that we've been releasing over the past year, some of the things that we're going to be releasing over the next few months, we'll just go through a quick highlight of some of those, and then we'll drill down into some of them a little bit deeper. So one of the really big announcements that we're making is that we are exposing Oracle integration as an MCP server, so Model Context Protocol server. So if you don't know what this is, we're going to drill down into this a little bit more. But effectively what this is a way for us to make your integrations accessible to AI agents, so those AI agents have access to your enterprise apps and data. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but this is a huge advancement that we're making because again, it really makes your agents more actionable, more intelligent by giving them access to your enterprise. We are, of course, through MCP supporting pretty much any MCP compliant agent framework. So that could be AI Studio from the Fusion Apps teams. It could be the OCI agent framework. It could be third-party agent frameworks, what have you. We are also releasing our own agent framework. So if you're not using any of those agents, or if you're using if you have a more of a hybrid agent environment and you need to have agents maybe running in Fusion Apps, but maybe some ad hoc agents that you need to run in external applications, we are also providing our own agent framework where you can build those agents directly within Oracle integration. One of the things we're also doing with AI is we've completely infused AI throughout the entire product, making it very easy for you to get assistance from AI to help you build integrations, to help you get best practice recommendations, to help generate documentation, and then also to kind of help you monitor the life cycle and the execution of your integrations and automations as they're running. We've embedded a number of different AI capabilities from the OCI AI team directly into our integration canvas, making it very easy for you to go ahead and make your integration flows more intelligent by adding things like document understanding or vision detection or Gen AI capabilities, making it very easy for you to extend those integrations with this intelligence, what we call AI workflows. We've completely repurposed our process automation components to start providing oversight for agents. And so we've moved some of our process automation capabilities directly into our projects. We'll see this here in a little bit. And again, what this is providing is when we're running agents or when we're supporting agents, this gives us the ability to allow you to have your human workers, your employees, provide oversight of these agents, providing approvals, doing exception handling, or just assisting the agents when they get stuck. We're releasing also, as part of Oracle integration, a native RAG infrastructure. So we call it our Agentic Knowledge Base. This will make it very easy for you to go ahead and take your unstructured content, get it into these RAG infrastructures, so these infrastructures that make it easy for agents to be able to consume your not only your transactional data through like things like our enterprise connectivity, but also to be able to consume a lot of your unstructured content. So that could be policy documents, what have you. We're in the process of building a complete agentic compliance framework. Obviously, one of the important things as we move into leveraging agents to handle some of our business processes is we need to build a level of trust for those agents. And so we're actually building a framework that'll allow you to define policies that are important for you, no different than you would define policies for your employees. Define those policies, and then we'll assert those policies, the compliance of those policies across the execution of your agents. As Sandy had mentioned, we've taken a look at what are the two things that are most problematic when it comes to running RPA robots. One of them is RPA robots are quite brittle. And so we are releasing what we're calling self-healing robots. And I'll let Sandhya talk a little bit more about that later on today. And then the other big problem that we see with robots is it takes a lot of effort for you to manage all of the VMs where these robots are running. Of course, these robots have to run on VMs to be able to access your desktop applications. We are now providing what we call autonomous environments, where we will host those robot environments for you within the OCI infrastructure and allow you to go ahead and just specify to us what the constraints are for those environments, and we'll automatically scale those environments in and out to meet your current workloads. And lastly, we are now providing Oracle Managed Disaster Recovery to really simplify the resilience and continuity of your business. So let me walk through a couple of these in a little bit more detail. I'm not going to actually show this here right now, but just to kind of give you an understanding of what we're doing with respect to bringing AI into the integration platform to make it easier to use, to provide you greater insights in not only the structure of your integrations and automations, but also the operational aspects of them. So this starts with us providing AI assistance to discover our pre-built integrations. So of course, today you can go out there and search for our pre-built accelerators and recipes and such, but we're providing a much more comprehensive way for you to provide your business requirements, and then for us to assess those requirements against all of the pre-built solutions that we have, whether those come from us or from our applications team or from our partners, and really do a fit for purpose assessment on each one of those. Helping you to create blueprints as you define the requirements for your solutions. We'll help either extend those pre-built solutions or build blueprints for solutions from scratch. Of course, helping you to actually build the individual components, whether it be integrations or robots or what have you, using natural language, simplifying how you actually create these various components, all the way down to the individual activities. So for instance, using natural language to define the schedules for your integrations, or using natural language to define how your database activity is going to query a database within your integration flow. We'll of course be assessing all of your integrations and your robots and your process automation components. All of the automation components, we'll be assessing them for best practice, and then providing documentation for the various stakeholders within your business. So it could be a documentation for the technical team who's interested in building version 2 of your automations. It could be for the operations team who needs to ensure that the system is running correctly and understand how to triage the system if things go awry. And then also documentation for the business continuity team for them to understand what the impact of these automations are to the business and what kind of remediation needs to be done if these automations go down for some reason. And then a complete set of observability capabilities, again, AI infused within our observability to provide you more intelligent or simplified description of any errors that are happening within your integration, be able to provide you some recommendations on how to quickly fix those, and then also to detect some anomalies throughout the system. So that's kind of a quick overview of how we're actually bringing AI into Oracle integration. Let's switch now to how we're actually using Oracle integration to help you with your AI initiatives. And of course, one of the big topics today is AI agents. It's pretty hard to go anywhere without hearing about AI agents. We have a very comprehensive story around AI agents. But before we actually talk about that story, it's important to kind of ground ourselves in what we mean by AI agents, because they are such a hot topic that now pretty much everything that you hear is an AI agent. So let's kind of ground ourselves into what we mean by that. So of course, we are all familiar with using things like chatbot, where we're using a large language model to ask it questions and it generates content for us. And of course, these large language models come back with surprisingly interesting responses to the questions and queries that we ask of it. Well, we can use those exact same large language models to not just simply generate content, but also to reason. And reason over what? Reason over goals and objectives. And so this is where we start thinking about using these large language models as the foundation for this notion of an AI agent, a worker that's going to help us perform tasks that we would normally have performed before. So another way for automating our business, automating our tasks. So we have these agents. They're using large language model to reason over goals and objectives. So that's great. These large language models have read the internet. They know an awful lot about the world. They know how to interact with us, but they have no understanding whatsoever of your enterprise data, your applications, anything that's going on in your business, of course. And so to make it such that these agents are effective in your business, we give these agents access to data and actions within your enterprise. And we call this data and access, these data and actions in the industry, they call these tools. So we have agents using large language models, reasoning over goals and objectives, and accessing tools to be able to access your enterprise data so that they can actually automate pieces and parts of your business. So what are those tools doing? Well, those tools are actually getting access to your enterprise applications, whether that be your Fusion applications, your third-party applications, whatever the case may be. Those agents need access to that to provide them the intelligence that they need to be able to reason over the objectives. They need the access to be able to perform actions such as creating orders or creating invoices or creating new accounts, what have you. So where does Oracle integration come in? Well, providing access to your enterprise through our enterprise connectivity, through our automation tools, is the foundation of what we do. And so in effect, one of the core values that we're providing now in this agentic world is to leverage our enterprise connectivity, leverage our automation components to make it very easy for these agents to be able to access your enterprise in a very controlled and secured way. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what that really means in a concrete way. So I'm over here in Oracle integration, and we'll come to projects. I hope everybody here is actually using projects. Projects is really where we're building the future of Oracle integration. There's enormous value in actually using projects. All of the new innovations that we're building are being built with projects with the concept of projects in mind. So here we have a project, invoice processing. Imagine we had a use case where we had a shared service center where invoices are coming into the shared service center, they're being scanned, and those documents, those electronic documents are being dropped into some folder, and we need to process those. So obviously we could create some integrations where we may go out and list the documents that are in those folders. Maybe we want to extract the data from those documents, so extract the invoice data, classify those documents to ensure that they are indeed invoices and not somehow or another a resume got into our folder. And then, of course, maybe an integration that creates the invoice. So this is very typical what you might do in any type of use case scenario. You would go ahead and create your integrations, you would stitch those together, and those would form the foundation for automating your business. And so nothing has really changed here. Real quick, when we talk about projects, you notice that not only do we have access to our integrations here, but we have access to a variety of different automation components. So we have access to our new AI agent components. We have access to our robots, which Sandia will show you in a little bit. Again, we've repurposed our process automation capabilities to what we call human in the loop to provide oversight for the agents. We have our rule-based decision services, healthcare connectivity, B2B capabilities, and again, this knowledge base, which is this RAG infrastructure, where we allow you to upload unstructured content to provide access to your agents. Okay, so we now have these integrations, and we could, of course, orchestrate these integrations in a process flow or in another integration. However, one of the things that we want to do is we want to think about leveraging agents to provide more creative or more variable solutions for us, right? So if we have a flow that orchestrates certain activities, we're going to do step 1, then we're going to do step 2, then we're going to do step 3. That flow is always going to execute in that way. And maybe a lot of times that's exactly what we want. And if that is the case, then we should certainly do it the way we do business today. However, there are times where we want to where we have more variable business processes, where we want to use a little bit more intelligence on how to work our way around exceptions that might occur. And in those cases, we'd want to go ahead and use AI agents. Now, if you recall, we said AI agents are a large language model, their goals and objectives, and they are tools. We are now providing a new component type called tools, where I can expose my integrations as first-class agent tools. And so I can come in here and I could say, let's add a new tool. I have a few here: extract invoice data, list documents, create invoice. I can add a new tool, and we can base this off an integration, and we can select this classified document integration. And now we come in and we see our tool. Well, the tool is nothing more than metadata that we're going to give to our large language model so that it can reason over whether or not it needs this tool. And if it does need this tool, how can it actually invoke that tool? In this case here, it would invoke the tool by giving it a file name. And so we can provide a description here. We can say this is the document file name. And we now have another tool. So all these tools are available now for a large language model to reason over if and when it needs to execute them or request them, and if it does need to request them, how it can do so by through the various parameters. But we need to give access to these. We need to give our agents access to these tools. Now, again, we've built our own agent framework. We'll get back to this here in a second. But before we do that, let's take a look at how would we use these tools and ultimately these integrations in third-party agent frameworks. And so to do that, we have gone ahead and enabled this idea of model context protocol, which is basically a standard way for agents to discover tools. So we have added MCP server capabilities to our projects by simply checking this checkbox. We now have enabled this entire project as an MCP server, meaning any MCP compliant framework now can have access and discover these tools. So let's take a look at one of those agent frameworks, and I'm going to use a third-party agent framework for now called Langflow. It's just a third-party framework that fairly simple to create agents. We have an agent here, so it's a very nice low-code agentic framework application. So I have the agent here. You can see that I've connected up to OpenAI as a model. We can see that I've provided this agent some objectives. So you create invoice transactions and such. So these are the goals and objectives that we have for this agent. I'm going to run this as a kind of a chat interface. So I have very simple chat input and chat output. But one of the things that we need to do is we need to give this agent access to tools. And in the Langflow infrastructure here, we can do that by simply adding this MCP tools component. And then from this MCP tools component, we can configure it with the credentials and the endpoint for the OIC project over here that we just enabled as an MCP server. We can now give it access to that, and we can see that it's gone out and interrogated our MCP server, and it's found these various tools. And so now I can simply hook up these tools to the agent, and I can come over here and I can run a test. I can say, please process my invoices. And what we'll see is this agent, this Langflow agent that knows nothing about OIC, knows nothing about this idea of an integration, is simply invoking the LLM, passing it those objectives, interrogating the MCP server for the tools that are available, and then requesting that MCP server execute those tools. And in fact, and so we can see that it's now going through there, it's creating the invoices, extracting data, and we can see that it's actually created some invoices for us. In fact, if we come over to Oracle integration and we take a look at our observability, we'll see that we have that through the MCP server, through the access to those tools, we have executed all those integrations on behalf of the actual agent. So again, just to recap, a very simple way for you to reuse your current integrations, to use the large library of pre-built integrations and automations that we're providing through our accelerator library, or to be able to create your own integrations, your own automations using our integration and automation tools, and then making those assets available to your agents very simply through MCP. So that's great. We now have a way to provide any agentic framework access to our enterprise connectivity and automation. So agent frameworks such as Langflow, these third-party agent frameworks. We could also do the same thing with AI Studio. What happens though if you don't have an agent framework? So there's obviously going to be a lot of scenarios where we have this hybrid environment of agents coming from AI Studio, maybe agents coming from third-party applications or what have you. We wanted to provide from Oracle integration directly the ability to create agents yourself for those kind of more ad hoc type of use cases. And so this is where we would create those agents. If we go back to Langflow for a second here, and we take a look at this agent here in a little bit more detail, we see behind the scenes that there's a lot of code here. Well, this code is the code that's actually controlling how this agent is behaving. This is the code that governs the agent to say, I'm going to invoke the LLM, or I'm going to take the guidelines or the objectives that were provided to me and pass them to the LLM. I'm going to connect to the MCP server and interrogate the MCP server. And I'm going to go ahead and execute those MCP calls or those tool calls when the agent needs those. So all of that behavior is actually defined within this code. We've actually created a similar concept, what we call agent pattern, where we can isolate the agent behavior within these patterns. So I'm going to call this and actually let me not do this here. Let me come over to another project here. We'll build this here. So we'll call this our finance agent pattern. Now, out of the box, we're going to deliver a variety of different patterns for you so that you can actually get started. But at the end of the day, these patterns are really nothing more than integrations that, again, are governing how an agent actually behaves. And so what I can do is, now that I have this, I can provide some textual description to the large language model to say, look, you're going to be governed by this integration, but here's kind of the world that you're sitting in, and here's how you should think through the process of reasoning over those objectives and using tools. So I can create this pattern. And in fact, if we come back to integrations here, we'll see that a couple of integrations have actually been added. This is still being activated. A couple of additional integrations have been activated. And again, these integrations are really what controls the behavior of how the agent is going to operate. Why is that important? Well, one, is we do have to have something that controls the agent's behavior. There are a lot of different agent behavior patterns out there based on what it is that you want your agent to do. But maybe more importantly is that for every one of these agents, you're going to want to bake into the agent behavior your own guardrails. What kind of limitations do you want to put on your agents? And so you can now go into these integrations and put your own guardrails. So for example, if you wanted to ensure that every single agent removed PII data before it actually spit back the final result, you could do that directly with this within that integration. So now that we have the agent pattern, we can simply add a new agent here. Before I do that, though, let me go ahead and add a new tool. And this time I'm going to add this not from an existing integration, but from a recipe. And in this case here, I'm going to add a human in the loop tool. So I'm going to go ahead and create that tool. Now, what this is going to do is, because it's coming from a recipe, is it's going to install from our recipe library. It's going to install a process workflow form. It's going to install a process. It's going to install integration that's going to invoke that workflow, and it's now going to take me to the tool that's based off this integration. Now I'm going to go ahead and put myself down here as a reviewer, just to kind of hard code this since it is just a demo. But you can imagine where this reviewer could have come from a variety of different sources. So I now have this human in the loop tool. Now I can come back here and create my agent. So I'll call this my invoice agent. And we'll say that we're going to use this finance pattern, and we're going to create this. Now, what's nice about this is, again, that we've completely segregated who's actually managing our tools, who is managing the agent behavior. In other words, who's actually providing the compliance around how our agents behave, from the actual functional bits of the agent. In other words, who has the domain expertise to define the functional objectives of this agent. So we have the exact same guidelines, and I'm going to say, please get approval for any invoice over, let's just say, $15,000. Yep. So we'll amend to those objectives. We'll add all 5 tools here. We'll save this and we'll run it. So let's activate this, and it's ready to run. Yep. So we'll run our agent, and we'll do exactly as we said before. Please process my invoices. And of course, we'd expect it to do something very similar. We're using the same kind of large language model. We're using effectively the same type of behavioral pattern. But now, instead of the agent actually running inside of this third-party agent framework called Langflow, it's running directly within Oracle integration, using that integration, that React integration, to guide to govern the behavior, using the exact same tools that we did before. This case here, though, we're adding one additional tool, and that is a tool to go ahead and get approval when an invoice is over a certain amount. If we come over here to our process automation component and we do a refresh, we'll see here, well, not just yet, but we'll see here in a little bit that we'll actually have been assigned a task from the agent to go ahead and review and approve this particular item. So here we are. Here's our task. We can open this task up. We can see the task has been sent to us. We can say approve, submit that. And then if we actually come over to our observability, we'll see where all of our agents are running. We'll see that the initial agent ran first. That's where we actually invoke the human in the loop. And we can see that it's actually now proceeding. And if we take a look at how it's wrapping up, we can see that we got the response back from the human approval that we approved this. And it's now calling the last bit of tools to go ahead and finally create the invoices. So again, just to kind of recap, fundamentally, Oracle integration allows you to connect your apps and data using our enterprise connectivity. It allows you to automate your business processes using our automation components, like process automation, like RPA robots, like our rule-based decisions, like our B2B capabilities. All of these are not only important for you to automate your business in a more traditional way that we have grown accustomed to over the past decades, but now even more importantly in this new agentic world, by making it very easy to give those agents access to your enterprise in a very secure and safe way through our connectivity and automation tools. And you can do that either by using your own agent frameworks that you may have. This could be from the Fusion Apps AI Studio, or you could build those agents directly within OIC. And with that, Jürgen, I think that we are finished with the updates for AI agents.
Cool, excellent. Thank you very much, Nathan. Quick question for you. Do we have any kind of use cases and examples of partners or customers who are using it as early adopter?
Yeah, absolutely. So we worked with I think 5 or 6 different partners for during AI World to help get them on board early with our new AI capabilities. And so we had partners that were building agents within AI Studio and then using OIC to be able to connect to third-party applications. We had some partners building directly agents directly within our framework. We had some partners that they're building out their own agent framework, but able to use our connectivity directly within their agents. So lots of exciting use cases. I would encourage you. We do have what we're calling now our Accelerate program, where we're giving customers early access to these agentic capabilities. We will help you get onboarded. We will help you understand where it makes sense to use agents, where maybe it doesn't make sense to use agents, and really kind of help you accelerate your journey within this agentic world.
Thanks for pointing that out. If you would like to participate in the Early Adopter Accelerator program, please complete the survey at the end of the webcast and answer the questions in which of the programs you want to participate, and please give us some details on the use case. With that, I would like to hand over to Sandhya. Sandhya, good morning.
Thanks, Jürgen. Good
Thanks for
morning.
joining from Silicon Valley.
Thank you for
So,
having me here. Okay, I want to go ahead here and present about how we can extend your solutions with our business automation capabilities. We saw a lot about how integrations play a critical role as tools and the ones that actually perform actions for your agentic AI solutions. Now we'll also see how other capabilities within Oracle integration can act as tools by leveraging our integration platform. So within Oracle integration, we do support other capabilities which are essential for your business process automation. They are the human oversight, which we also call human in the loop, that is required for several of your AI scenarios where you would want human oversight over the decisions that AI makes. We also have capabilities to build and manage robots from within Oracle integration. So you don't need to go to another platform just for your robotic needs. You can build, manage, train, and observe your robots from within Oracle integration. We also have B2B capabilities and other low-code applications can be built and managed within Oracle integration. Essentially, we are providing you a single pane of glass where you can use one platform for all of your business automation needs, and you have unified development, observability, and lifecycle management. So that's about our business automation capabilities. Now let's look a little bit detail into RPA. So what is RPA? RPA is robotic process automation. This allows you to automate manual repetitive work through robots. That's what this capability is able to do. What does it bring to anybody who is already using Oracle integration? If you have any tasks or steps within your business process which is not automated through APIs, and for some reason APIs are not available, or if APIs are not the best way to interact with those modules in your business applications, then you can build, deploy, and manage robots to complete those tasks. And since they are repetitive and manual in nature, you can have a robot complete that for you, and you can bring that or orchestrate those robots as in your larger integrations or agentic AI solutions that you have. What we are also recommending is hybrid automations. That is, you can have robots come in and do those steps for which you don't have an API friendly way to do. And for the other parts of the API friendly scenarios, you can definitely leverage integrations, and you can have hybrid automations which will have integrations and robot capabilities orchestrated. Another important advantage is future-proofing your automations. Today, you build a solution using robots, but say in a few weeks or a few months' time, you have a evolved solution available using other technologies like integration. You can come and swap in those robot implementations with integration solutions with absolutely zero impact to anybody who's consuming your automation. So this is the major advantage of being able to orchestrate these robots within an integration framework, and it future proofs your automation. So this is RPA, and this is a native capability within Oracle integration. Now let's get into what are the popular or critical challenges that RPA customers encounter. One is managing robot environments and missions. Robots often require a VM where they need to be always up and running, and there is a lot of overhead in terms of resource allocation, somebody constantly monitoring them, and then taking action when there is a sudden spike in the work request in terms of either scaling out, or if there is a sudden decrease in the work request, the need to scale in. All of this requires a lot of operational overhead and some team members to constantly keep monitoring all of your robot resources. This is one of the top challenges with most RPA customers, and that's why they want to stay away from RPA implementations. Another top concern for anybody or top concern or things that keep them away from RPA is robots being fragile. That is, they lack robustness. They are brittle in the sense that if there are any changes to your application, there is a direct impact to the robots which are built against these applications, which requires constant maintenance in terms of you will have to go and rebuild your robots to adapt to the newer changes that are coming into your applications. So the changes on the UI breaks your automation, requiring to reinvest on automations that you have already built. Lack of exception handling, and high maintenance overhead. So all of this is because robots are fragile. So Oracle understands that these are the two top challenges, and we have provided solutions by leveraging AI and also by leveraging OCI capabilities to address this. Now let's get into a demo, and I will talk through the solution that we have come up here. So this is a robot that I have built within Oracle integration. What you're seeing is an Oracle integration 3 instance. I have a project called Customer Support Agent. So this is the OIC 3 instance, and here we have a project called Customer Support Agent. We have integrations. We have here, this is this collaboration space. You can build all the capabilities that are required for your business automation. You can certainly come and build robots here. I have already built a robot here which will interact with an application, legacy application, to register customers for our accelerator program. So that's what this robot is going to do. It's going to open up this application and go and register customers for our accelerator program. So let me run this. Let me give say execute this. So while this is running, let's also go and see how easy it is to orchestrate a robot into an integration flow. To save time, I have created an integration flow here. Now, having a robot added here is as simple as coming in and having this native action called robot flow. Once you have this robot action configured, you can choose the robot flow that you want to orchestrate with. In this case, I have just one in my project, so that shows up in the dropdown, and I continue and finish with the configuration. So it's as simple as this to be able to configure or orchestrate a robot within your existing integration, or if you have a brand new integration, you can still go and extend it with a robot implementation. Now, what you see here is the browser window that got popped up because the robot is doing this interaction. It is opening up the legacy application, which I mentioned, for registering customers for our accelerator program. Now, yes, it is opening up. Okay, there is some change here. This is not the application I originally built my robot against. My robot was built against a different application, and the application looked like this, right? So the application didn't have the buttons, so it had a new customer hyperlink here, and there has been some updates that are happened to the application now when the robot is interacting. In this scenario, typically you will expect the robot to fail, considering there are significant changes that has got applied, and the robot will fail, and you will have to go and manually recover. That means you will have to go and edit your robot to make or adapt to this change. But with the introduction of self-healing robots, we have made the robots capable of understanding what's happening. There is a change in the UI, and it is adapting to the change without the need for manually going and modifying anything in your robot. And how did we make this possible? We made this possible by introducing AI intelligence into our robots. So what does this mean? Let me take you into the robots and show you how we enabled this. We provide a feature here called self-heal. If you enable this feature, what this does is robot doesn't simply error from an issue like a sudden upgrade or change on the UI or updates on a web application. Instead, at the event where the error is encountered, the error and the context of the error is passed on to the AI engine, and the AI is able to provide us with recommendations which gets applied on runtime, and the instance gets recovered. So if you enable any robot with self-heal capability, we will be able to recover runtime issues through AI recommendations. Those recommendations will get applied on the fly, and your robot executions will be recovered successfully. Apart from that, those recommendations will also get fed as design time recommendations for your developers. So next time around, when they come to edit their robots or update their robots, they are provided with a set of recommendations that they can choose to apply on the robots, which means there is runtime recovery, which is on the fly, and there is a design time recommendation, which your developers can take and also simplifies their troubleshooting experience. So that's how we have weaved AI capabilities into robots. Now let's go into observability and see what exactly happened with the execution we just completed. So it was not able to identify the new customer. That's where the AI assistance came in. So it failed in the pre-validation where it was trying to look for an hyperlink for new customer that was not visible. Instead of erroring, the context of the error and the error itself was sent to an AI engine, and we got some recommendations, and we applied that recommendations on the fly, and the action was successfully completed, and your robot instance is also successfully executed. So this is the power of AI. This addresses one of the top challenges that we have, that is robots being brittle. Robots are not brittle anymore. With the power of AI, they are robust. So that's how we are addressing the first challenge. The second challenge that we did talk about was managing environments. Yes, we understand the overhead involved there. So we are introducing autonomous environments here, which requires you to do only pass an instance pool OSIT. This is something that your administrators can provide. They have to just create an instance pool in your OCI console and share the instance pool OSIT with you. Once you configure this, you provide minimum and maximum number of agents that you want. That's the scaling parameter. Based on the work request that is coming in and the utilization threshold, this is again something that you can configure. Based on this, we kick the scaling algorithm so that it is capable of scaling automatically, scaling out, and also scaling in. When the resources are utilized is under 50%, you want it to scale in, you also mention it here, and we are able to dynamically scale up and down based on your incoming work requests. So this is another important feature, which is called autonomous environments, which will address another important pain point we have with the operational overhead in terms of managing the resources for robot execution. So let's get back to the presentation, just summarizing on these two aspects. One is autonomous environments. Initial state, maybe you have just 3 requests. Suddenly there is an increase in work requests. You don't have to worry. You're covered. Autonomous environments will dynamically scale out and tackle your needs. And all of this is possible because we are relying on OCI infrastructure, which is cloud native, flexible, and scalable. Quickly into the second one, which is AI powered robots. This is going to provide you self-healing capabilities and going to increase your return on investments for robots that you've made. So this increases developer productivity because AI assisted troubleshooting is provided. So your team members do not spend a lot of time troubleshooting issues. Instead, there are recommendations that AI provides, which they can choose to incorporate. Increases adaptability. Changes in a web application doesn't have a negative impact on your robots anymore. We are able to adapt and the robots are flexible. We have a comprehensive error handling, that is, you can define deterministic error handling within robots, also cover the non-deterministic aspects through AI, which is the self-healing feature. Low maintenance cost, that is, for every small or minor UI change or upgrade, there is no need for you to go and remodel your robots. That is through AI recommendations on the fly getting applied to your robots. It gives you, it lowers your maintenance costs. So with that, I come to the end of robots. I will let Yogan take over.
Thank you, Sandhya, for
Yogan,
the interesting updates on robots. So robots are most useful if you have repetitive tasks and no API, then a robot can automate those tasks. So we offer an Accelerate program that helps you to adapt new technology like RPA, B2B, or Oracle Agentic AI. And if you would like to participate in the program, please complete the survey or go on the blog post that Ravi shared in the chat. So if you want to try Oracle integration, if you are new to it, or if you want to try any of the new features in a separate environment, please make use of the Oracle free trial program. As part of the documentation, we provide already for Agentic AI some details, how you can set it up, and also we provide live lab training material. So please make use of the documentation page. If you would like to innovate, we offer the Oracle Code Innovation. To find out more, scan the barcode and join us for a half-day event. Certification is available for Oracle integration on different levels for sales, solution engineer, and application integration. So you should be interested to participate. There's online training available and an online certification. If you want to have help and support from an integration expert, please go to Partner Finder, where you can search for certified partners which have the certification, or look for Cloud Marketplace, where you can find partners who have also built third-party adapters. If you would like to collaborate and if you have questions, please use Cloud Customer Connect. There you can start conversations, you can submit innovations and ideas, and Ravi Chaplani from our team supports you on Cloud Customer Connect.
Nathan, we would like to welcome to Webcast. What was your impression and what do you think is important for us in the AI?
Yes, super proud of the team, being out here, meeting with our customers, meeting with our partners, what they were doing, and the enormous amount of excitement from our customers and partners on the things that we're doing. And this release, the new additions we've added to the product are super timely, and it puts us in a really great place. So thank you very much for the whole team.
Thank you very much, and we say hello to Las Vegas.